Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. And Shavuot Tov, I want to wish you a good, healthy, blessed and successful week. Today we begin with the parasha of Vayishlach. Jacob sent angels. And there's a beautiful explanation on Rashi of when Jacob sent messengers to Esav. He said, Ani Lavan Garti. I lived with Lavan. So what is he trying to tell Esav before he meets him? So Rashi explains that Garti comes from the word ger, which means stranger. In other words, Yaakov was telling Esav that the 34 years that he lived with Lavan, he felt like a stranger. He never felt comfortable living with the wicked Lavan. He never felt he belonged in that place. So also Rashi is telling us that the Gematria of Garti is 613, which alludes to the 613 mitzvot or commandments that Hashem expects from us, alluding that Yaakov, for 34 years that he lived in the house of Lavan, he was able to keep all of these mitzvahs. And what he was telling him in a deeper sense is that the word Garti is connected both to telling Esav that he felt like a stranger, and at the same time he kept the mitzvot. And that also he was telling him that he owned many animals and many possessions. He became a very, very rich man, Yaakov, in the house of Lavan. When he left, he was a very rich man. He had 4 wives, and at that moment he had 11 children, and he had everything. He had everything a person could love to have. And it says also in the parasha later on that Yaakov built for himself a home, and for his cattle he built huts. So what is he alluding here? A home, he was saying that the home was the place where he kept his mitzvahs and his Torah. The home is a place where it should be infused with shalom bayit, with peace in the home. It should be a place where there's faith, where the emunah and the bitachon of a person should be aroused. It's a place where there should be a sense of protection and love, one for the other. And it's a place where we do kindness, where we bring strangers to our home to eat meals when they don't have where to stay. It's a place where we give tzedakah to people who are in need. It's a place where we listen to other people that need to be heard, and we take care of our family. So the difference between a home and a hut is that the home is very precious to us. It's where we live, and it should be a place of when you live in your house, you feel like you're protected. The hut is a temporary place, like we have in Sukkot, that we dwell in a hut for 8 days, the sukkah, and we eat there all our meals, and some people even sleep there. But even though we make it beautiful, it's something that is temporary. We don't put so much detail and so much effort into the sukkah as we do to our own home. And that's why Yaakov said, Im Lavan Garti. Because what he was saying is, I regard all my material possessions that I earned in the home of Lavan as something that are a means to an end. It was not something that he regarded as that's my life. Like his car, yeah, maybe you like your car, but you shouldn't think that without that car you cannot live, or that car makes you. No, the car is a tool for you to get to shul early in the morning and pray. It's a tool for you to help your wife do errands. It's a tool to take you to one place to another. But the car is not as important as your children, for example. So I remember many years ago there was an educator, and she used to tell us in Colombia we all had nannies, and she would say, would you allow your nanny to use your stereo system? If it's a very expensive stereo system, would you allow her to use it, to turn it on, turn it off, listen to music? And everybody would say, like, no way, she cannot touch. It's very expensive. And it says, but you give her your kids. Like you don't allow her to touch your stereo, but you give her your kids. So what's more important for you, your kids or your stereo? So this is what the Torah is telling us here. And also, it's telling us that it's not easy to be a Jew today, and never has been easy to be a Jew. But for us now in this 2016, we're looking at a time of very complicated moments for Jews in the world. There's a lot of anti-Semitism, and there's a lot of anti-sentiment against Israel and the BDS movement and all these new groups that are coming out against the Jews and against Israel. And this is the modern Asaph. This is the modern Asaph, and also the modern Lavans. These are the people that are always following us, tricking us, but in reality they're here so we can keep ourselves being who we are and keep us united. If the Jew would go into the world and feel comfortable, maybe he would forget who he is. In the places where the Jews are the best treated, you can see that the rates of assimilation are humongous. And sadly, when a Jew is being oppressed, and that's when the Jew remembers that he's a Jew, and that spark, that pinkeleyit comes out in defense of who he is. In the college campuses, you see it, and in many places where the Jew is defending his pride, he's defending who he is. So the Torah is teaching us that there is only one way to overcome them, and we must learn from Yaakov how to choose our priorities. We should never forget what is important in life. It's more when Yaakov is going to meet Esau, he sends him lavish gifts. And when Esau comes to confront him, he says, I don't need your gifts, I have a lot. And when he's going to give Yaakov gifts, Yaakov says to Esau, I don't need the gifts, I have everything. So from here we see the two perspectives of looking at the material world in our lives. One is Esau's approach, I have a lot. I have a lot, yes, I have a lot, thank God I have a lot, but you know what? I could have one more dress, I could have one more house, I could have one more car. That's the mentality, a lot. And then when you say I have everything, like Yaakov, then you're realizing, you're saying, you know what, I don't need anything else. Everything I have is exactly what I need. It's exactly what is meant for me. Whatever I own is because God gave it to me, because it's part of my tools to be able to elevate this world and bring Torah and mitzvot to this world. So it's not a sin that a Jew has a beautiful home, has a beautiful furniture, has art, has beautiful clothes. No, but the idea is, what does he have them for? Do you have a beautiful home to have guests, to have Shabbat dinners, to bring a rabbi to your home and give a shiur? Or do you have a beautiful home to look like an Architectural Digest magazine picture where nobody can sit in a sofa and it's just to look, and it's like, no, don't touch it. You never invite anybody because it's so beautiful. Why do you have the home? What is the purpose for it? So everything we own really comes from God. This is also a reason why we should never feel jealous about anybody, because what everybody owns is really what God gives them. It's what they need in their life to be able to fulfill their purpose here. And if your neighbor has a white house and you have a brown house, well, either you paint it white because you love the color, or you say, this is what I need. This is the house God gave me, and this is my need. And I have what I need. And that's it. But you shouldn't be always looking at what other people have and feeling, oh, I miss this, I miss that, they have this, I don't have this, the latest phone, the latest... No, because we have what we need. And when we live our life feeling with that we have everything, really, that we have everything, and everything we have is the best, even if it's an old Oldsmobile parked in our driveway, but it's the best car, then we will be able to live in a very fulfilling way, in a very happy way, in a very grateful way. And you will be able to live a little higher. So I wish you a good week and a blessed week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.